Part 1. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 1. The central immortal realm, the ultimate battlefield, is filled with rivers of blood, filled with the pungent smell of blood, and countless corpses. Not only that, every corpse is filled with unparalleled imperial power. Resolutely resist the discharge of nuclear contaminated water into the sea. If I were the protagonist, I would have to kill them with one slap. Li Bai, you passed. From a halo of incomparable nothingness, words like the Emperor's whisper slowly came out. Haha, Tiandeo, don't think that I don't know what you are planning. Next to him, a man in white clothes said calmly. You launched the Emperor's fall war, and more than 100 emperors died tragically at your hands. Isn't it enough? Tiandeo has a slightly angry tone. If you listen carefully, you will find that there is a trace of fear mixed in. Haha, that's enough? How is it possible? Of course it's much more than that. Are you sure you want to do this for the lowly human race, or do you want to be their savior? Sorry, I am not the savior of the human race, nor do I want to be the savior. It's just that my lovely apprentice is the human race. Li Bai spread his hands and said slowly. You know you can't kill me. Just give it a try. You can't kill me anyway, can you? Li Bai said slowly with a smile. For countless epochs, what do you want? An answer, and a wife. Dear newbies, please be patient and read on, it's absolutely fun, and there are hundreds of millions of funny things, please add it to your bookshelf with your fingertips. Countless epochs later. On the other side of reincarnation, this is the final place of reincarnation. It is one of the most taboo places in the world. Even the emperor dare not step into it easily. This land is extremely desolate and there is no life at all. At this moment, in a piece of land, the soil was slowly opened, and an extremely slender hand stretched out. Soon, a man in white slowly came out. He looked extremely handsome and seemed to be old. Only a teenager, his name is just like his name, Li Bai. Li Bai shook the dirt off his body and slowly opened his eyes. His eyes were calm, as if no matter how big things happened, he could not disturb his mood. The dream has lasted for thousands of years. What year is it today? Li Bai glanced at the surrounding environment and said slowly, from the time he fell asleep on the other side of reincarnation to now, countless eras have passed. Countless favored men may have died tragically, and there may also be great emperors who have fallen. The atmosphere of this world is really nostalgic. It seems to be a golden age. Has that guy from Heavenly Deo recovered? Li Bai sniffed the surrounding atmosphere fiercely and said doubtfully. No, someone is here. It's interesting that someone can still set foot here. At this time, a woman wearing a long white dress was walking slowly in this forbidden area. The woman's face was shrouded in mist, making it difficult to see her true appearance. She was tall and slender, and her snow-white jade feet touched the ground in the air. However, despite this, it still gave people the impression that this woman should only exist in heaven and is rarely seen in the world. When she stepped into this place, a path slowly appeared in front of the woman. On both sides of the path, strange flowers slowly rose from the ground. In an instant, the sky was filled with red light, and flowers bloomed one after another. The flowers keep blooming, forming a sea of flowers. This flower has 6 petals, is extremely slender, and the stamens are so charming that people will get lost in it unconsciously. This is the Bana flower, a legendary flower that is said to only bloom in the land of reincarnation. Finally, I'm here, Bai Yi, where are you? The woman looked at the flowers on the other side of the path and said slowly, her whole body filled with sadness. I followed your message and now I have finally become the great emperor, but what about you? I have been searching for countless epochs and experienced several eras. I have left my hope here, but I still can't find any trace of you. Master, my disciple misses you so much. The woman whispered, a tear slowly sliding down her cheek. Just when the woman was crying in sadness, a voice slowly came from behind. Why did you set foot here? Who? The woman suddenly turned her head after hearing the voice, and saw only a young man in white slowly appearing in front of her. When she saw the young man's face clearly, the woman was stunned for an instant. The young man's appearance slowly matched the image in her mind. The looks overlap. Master, father. The woman said tremblingly. When Li Bai heard these two words, he was stunned for a moment, and then his eyes flashed, and he saw directly through the fog shrouded in the woman's face. You must know that this was a fog that even the emperor could not see through. Li Bai could easily see through. Are you, Xuanhuan? Li Bai said in surprise. The only thing that can surprise him now is the woman in front of him. Wow, master, I finally found you, I miss you so much. Hearing this, the woman couldn't control her inner emotions anymore, and rushed directly towards Li Bai, constantly rubbing Li Bai's chest, greedily sniffing his scent, even though it smelled of earth. If the world could see this scene, I wonder if my jaw will drop. You must know that this is Empress Nanyi, an empress with 11 main avenues, and there is at least one forbidden avenue among them. Among the emperors, Empress Nanyi may not be the most powerful, but she must be the most legendary and charming empress. Even a 3-year-old child knows a little about her legend. Millions of years ago, Empress Nanyi relied on her mortal body to take the lead on the road to become the great emperor. She became the only great emperor of that era, and that era was also the era that people were most familiar with and feared, the age of emperors' fall. But it was already the end. At that time, there were many people who were defeated by Nanyi, including the emperor's descendants, people of destiny, and descendants of ancient races. Among them was a glorious and legendary emperor in later generations, Emperor Fantian, an emperor who had fought into the darkness, but in his after entering the darkness, there is no news. Nanyi, why are you here? Li Bai stroked Nanyi's hair lovingly, and the latter kept rubbing Li Bai's palm like a kitten. Humph, it's not just to find the master. Nanyi showed her little girl character and said arrogantly. Not bad, the disgraced little girl behind me has now grown into an empress in charge of the fairy world. Li Bai said with a smile. Hey, master, please stop looking down on me, I'm very famous in the outside world. Nanyuja pouted, glanced over her head and said, but she still hugged Li Bai tightly. Oh, that's right. Then let me check it out. Be good and be patient. It will be over soon. Humph, who is afraid of whom? Nanyi said proudly. 1 minute later. Ah, master, no, Nanyi has given up. Nanyi said aggrievedly that this master is still as perverted as ever. She couldn't beat him in the past. Even after she was promoted to the great emperor, she still couldn't beat him. Even as the great emperor, he couldn't even see through Li Bai's state. You little girl, you dare to compete with my master? Li Bai smiled and knocked Nanyi's head. Slightly. Nanyi stuck out her tongue at Li Bai and made a face. No one knew how happy she was now. Nanyi, how did you find this place? Logically speaking, although you have become an emperor with 11 avenues, it should be impossible to get here, right? Li Bai said doubtfully, you must know that the other side of reincarnation can now be said to be his back garden. Every time he falls asleep, he chooses to be here. He, master, what do you think? Is it because of the ancient seal of reincarnation? Li Bai said calmly. Well, master, how do you know? Nanyi said in surprise that Nanyi found this ancient seal of reincarnation in a forbidden place. At that time, he almost died in order to get this ancient seal. Nonsense, I invented this, what do you think? I knew you, master, are the most powerful. Nanyi said with a smile that she was no different from the little girl thousands of years ago. As long as she could be by Li Bai's side, she would be very happy. Nanyi, who is in charge of the immortal world now? Li Bai asked slowly. Master, no one is in charge of the fairy world now. Nanyi said slowly. Huh? No one is in charge. How is it possible? Where is that old man? Li Bai asked slowly. The old man he was talking about was the emperor of the previous generation who was in charge of the destiny of the immortal world, the emperor of nothingness, an emperor who owned 12 avenues, at least half of which were forbidden avenues. The great emperor of nothingness can be said to be Li Bai's mortal enemy, the supreme ruler of the immortal clan, and one of the founders of immortal court. However, the two have experienced millions of years of confrontation, and now they are both enemies and friends. You mean, the great emperor of nothingness? He's fine. It's just that due to the resurrection of the immortal world's destiny, the destiny no longer recognizes anyone as being in charge of the immortal world, not even the emperor of nothingness. Nanyi said slowly. Destiny in the immortal realm? Spiritual wisdom was born. I guess so. After all, the way of heaven was almost destroyed by you, my master. After such a long period of recovery, I definitely want to regain control of the fairy world, so I let the destiny of the fairy world give birth to spiritual wisdom. Nanyi tilted her little head and said slowly. In this regard, Li Bai did not answer, and kept thinking in his mind. Why did the Emperor's Fall era happen? It was precisely because of the battle between Li Bai and Tiandao. That battle lasted for countless years. A total of nearly 100 great emperors from both sides have fallen, and trillions of living beings have perished, bleeding and drifting, corpses piled up with smelly vegetation, and Kawahara pills bleeding. The way of heaven is broken, the spiritual energy is reduced, and all things are wailing, which creates a dark age, the age of Emperor Fall. And Tiandao was also severely injured by Li Bai in that battle. Of course, Li Bai was not much better, so he slept on the other side of reincarnation for so long. Realm description: it is not necessary in the early stage, and there will not be many. Let's start with the main ones: Tongtian realm, Nirvana realm, Void realm, Human king, Human emperor, Saint, Saint king, Holy lord, God king, Void god king, Chaos god king, Eternal god king, Quasi-emperor, Great emperor, the originator, Start, Invincible. Met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 2. Master, Master. Nanyi looked at Li Bai, who was stunned in front of him, and shook Li Bai's arm. Huh? What's wrong, Nanyi? Why did you have to fight against Tiandao back then? Haha, even if I tell you this, you don't understand. Li Bai shook his head. Huh, I'm the emperor now. Nanyi, do you know how many great emperors like you died in that battle? How many? 68. Nanyi was stunned when she heard these words. During the Emperor's Fall era, she was just a newbie, so she didn't know much about these things. Even if she was later promoted to the Great Emperor and found the Great Emperor who participated in that battle, she would think I wanted to ask something from the other party, but the other party kept silent, even if Nanyi threatened his life. Now, do you still think that you are very strong? Li Bai looked at Nanyi and asked with a smile. Hey hey. Nanyi started to giggle unconsciously when he heard this. You girl, you are just too lazy. Otherwise, with your talent, you would have already embarked on that path. Li Bai said helplessly. Oh, master, what fun is there in fighting and killing all day long? You might as well play with master. Li Bai glanced at Nanyi with an expression that said something was wrong with you. Well, master, you misunderstood, it's just ordinary fun. Nanyi said shyly. In fact, he had wanted to challenge the division for a long time, but he was not strong enough and was beaten every time. Li Bai didn't know about this, but he didn't point it out. In his opinion, Nan Yi would always be just the slug following him. Besides, I'm afraid Nan Yi couldn't stand it either. Then master, since you have woken up now, whatever you want to do, whether you want to kill someone, I will go too. Nan Yi said excitedly. How unbecoming it is for girls to be beaten and killed. But you didn't teach me anything else. From the time I followed you, master, I either killed people or was on the way to kill people. It seems that master is to blame for all this, right? Nan Yi pouted her mouth and said unhappily. It's useless to say so much. I'm going to travel around the world, see old friends, look for things I didn't know where they were buried before, and see if the causes I planted have any results. As the saying goes, I have been fighting all my life and I still can't enjoy it. Li Bai said slowly. As an old monster who has lived for who knows how many years, Li Bai has naturally thought about everything in the future. Okay, Nan Yi, you and I can say goodbye here. Ah, let's go now. Master, can you do it? Nan Yi said aggrievedly that he had just found his master, so he had to say goodbye immediately. Obey, you should not stay with me anymore. You have your own way to go. My way is not suitable for you. Furthermore, as a great emperor, you should not appear frequently in the world. Where I want to go, I'm afraid there is no room for a great emperor. Li Bai touched Nan Yi's hair and said calmly. TCH, I said it as if I can accommodate you. Nan Yi said disdainfully. Can you compete with me? When Nan Yi heard this, she clenched her teeth. This master had a good way of burying people. Okay, but you are not allowed to disappear suddenly this time, otherwise, if you beat me to death, I will follow you. Nan Yi glared at Li Bai fiercely and said. Okay, no problem, I promise you. Then master, I'll leave first, I love you. Nan Yi blinked at Li Bai, and then disappeared on the other side of reincarnation. Li Bai took one last look at the place where he was sleeping, and then disappeared into this lifeless place. The fairyland of heaven and the human world. At this moment, Li Bai was dressed in white and walking casually on the street full of fireworks. When the woman passing by saw Li Bai, she couldn't help but sigh. What a handsome young man. I don't know which family he belongs to, how old he is, and whether he is engaged. He, it would be nice to have an engagement. Wow, he's so handsome, especially his eyes, which are obviously very young, but look extremely ancient and vicissitudes of life. Hey, I'm so handsome and charming. The young master in white clothes is unparalleled in the world. Oh, I hate that my sister was born too early. I gave birth to you before I gave birth to you. You gave birth to me and I am already old. No, the fetus is moving. What the hell, eldest sister, you're not at home to raise your baby, what are you doing out here? Big brother, buy a candied horse on a stick. At this time, at the corner of the street, a little girl with a grey face and ragged clothes slowly called Li Bai. Little sister, how old are you? Li Bai asked calmly when he saw this. Well, I'm 12 years old. The little girl lowered her head and said. 12 years old is almost considered an adult in the world of immortality. Women are generally nearly 1.7 meters tall, but the little girl in front of them is obviously only 1.4 meters tall. Lift your head and look at me. After hearing Li Bai's words, the little girl unconsciously raised her dirty little face and looked at Li Bai. In an instant, her little face turned red. He had never seen such a beautiful person. May I have your name? Li Bai smiled and asked slowly. I have no name. The little girl lowered her head after hearing this, and her dirty little hands were tangled together unconsciously. Sir, why don't I tell you about it? A woman with a turbulent face stepped forward and said, her eyes almost watered when she saw Li Bai. Li Bai didn't say anything, just nodded. Sir, she really didn't have a name, because when she was born, she killed her family. Later, she was adopted by an old man, but the old man died in less than a year. It went on and on like this. Nearly 7 or 8 people died in her hands, all because they died suddenly after adopting her. Usually, people in our town also stay away from her, and no one wants to have anything to do with her. Sir, I advise you to stay away from her. The woman whispered in Li Bai's ear. Okay, I know, this is your reward, you can go. After Li Bai finished speaking, he threw her 2 spirit crystals. But, sir, I still want. I'll let you go. Li Bai said calmly, looking at the woman. Yes. The woman said unwillingly and left, but when she carefully felt the 2 spirit crystals, she was stunned for a moment, because these were spirit crystals from the fairy world. So, that young man is from the fairy world, no wonder. After the woman left, Li Bai looked at the little girl in front of him again, with a gleam in his eyes, and he understood everything in an instant. Disaster body? No wonder, it's just that it hasn't awakened yet. I didn't expect that the little girl I met on the road would have such a physique. Tiandeo, what are you planning? Li Bai said slowly in his heart. The body of disaster, in the ancient physique ranking, can be ranked in the top 100. Of course, there are conditions that must be awakened, otherwise it is impossible to control the power of disaster in the body. And the way of disaster is also the avenue that many quasi-emperors want to get. Although it is not as good as the Forbidden Avenue, it is also an ancient avenue. Even this avenue is not inferior to the Forbidden Avenue in the hands of a quasi-emperor level body of disaster. Although it is a body of disaster, it cannot arouse any emotion in Li Bai. Having lived for countless epochs, he has seen all kinds of physiques. Even those in legends, Li Bai has encountered them. However, any physique that has not grown up is a waste. Being alive is the greatest asset. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 3. Do you want to practice? Li Bai slowly said to the little girl. This little girl reminded him of Nanyi from the beginning. Ah, big brother, can I do it, but they all say that I am a bad guy and it is impossible for me to practice. The little girl lowered her head and said aggrievedly. She didn't want to practice, but those sects wouldn't accept her at all when they saw her. Who dared to accept her? What if one day all the sects were stunned? Reason. Don't worry, I can do it, as long as you promise to follow me. Li Bai touched the little girl's head and said. Brother, what's dirty, please don't touch me. After the little girl felt the warmth of Li Bai's big hand, she immediately avoided it and said. It's okay, I don't dislike you. Li Bai said with a smile. Wow, big brother, why are you so nice to me? Hearing this, the little girl kept wiping the tears on her face with her dirty little hands. Perhaps you are very similar to an old friend of mine. Li Bai said slowly while deep in thought. Brother, you must have recognized the wrong person. The little girl lowered her head and said slowly. If you don't say this, are you willing to follow me? Can I? The little girl stared at Li Bai with her big watery eyes and said. Nothing is impossible with me. Wow, thank you so much, master. The little girl stopped fussing and immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times to Li Bai as a simple apprenticeship ceremony. Her forehead turned red. From now on, your name is Li Sui. Yeah, master, I'll listen to you. Shui nodded excitedly and said. After finishing speaking, Li Bai took Li Sui and returned directly to his residence. The surrounding people looked at the 2 people who disappeared out of thin air, and they couldn't help but be extremely shocked. Damn it, I didn't expect that the little brother in white, who usually doesn't show off, is actually an immortal cultivator. You're humming blind. That's not just a cultivator. He disappears out of thin air and travels through the void. This is a humming power in the void realm. Void realm? What is this? Can it be eaten? Let me tell you, you don't know either. All you need to know is that he is at a higher level than the ancestor of the Qingfeng section. The void realm is already the highest realm that the human world can reach. The man said with great envy. How did you know? Nonsense, I am the core disciple of Qingfeng sect. Bro, I want to be friends with you. By the way, do you know him? Well, we all call him the little brother in white. He's usually a nice person, but he doesn't go out often. Then do you know where his home is? What do you want to do? The man stared at the core disciple of the Qingfeng sect with an unkind look. What's your look in your eyes? Do you think I can beat him? Ahem, yes. At this moment, in a not-so-exquisite house in a deserted mountain range. In the blink of an eye, a month passed quickly, and during this month, Li Sui's changes were earth-shaking. First of all, her height suddenly grew to 1.7 meters, as if she had taken a height-enhancing drug. Her face, which was originally thin and yellow due to malnutrition, has now become extremely white, moist, and elastic. Of course, the most important thing is her realm. Since she awakened the body of disaster, she has transformed from immortal to the divine vein realm, spanning 5 major realms. This kind of cultivation speed, even for those emperors in the fairy world. The tribe is not inferior at all. Li Sui, who was cooking, frowned as if he had discovered something again. He immediately ran to the courtyard and said to Li Bai, who was lying on a chair and basking in the sun. Master, master. After hearing this, Li Bai squinted his eyes and said. Is the meal ready, Sui? Not yet, those people are here again. Li Sui shook her head and said. I know. But, master, they have visited dozens of times so far. Is there really something urgent? Li Sui played with a strand of her black hair and said slowly. Do you want to meet? Hey, I'm just curious. Okay, let them in. Okay, master. At this moment, outside the hospital, 2 men and 1 woman were waiting anxiously. Senior brother, maybe we won't be able to see each other today. A petite girl with a cute face said regretfully that she was one of the only disciples of the master of the Qingfeng sect, named Zhang Chen, and the other was his senior brother, Zhang Feng. Xiao Feng, maybe you really saw it wrong at that time. On the side, a middle-aged man shook his head and said. He is the current leader of Qingfeng sect, Qingjian. He heard Zhang Feng say a month ago that a great master of the void realm appeared in their area, so he wanted to go there specially. Come visit. Of course, whether it was a visit or another purpose, we don't know. Master, believe me, I will definitely not be wrong. The other party is really a powerful person in the void realm. Zhang Feng said firmly from the side. Hey, Xiao Feng, I know you are doing this for the good of our Qingfeng sect, but now that the evil sword sect has surrendered to the great Yan dynasty, we have no chance of winning, so I plan to send you 2 away. Before Qingjian could finish speaking, he saw the courtyard in front of him slowly and quietly opening, and a woman in a white dress slowly appeared in front of everyone. Damn, what a beautiful girl. Zhang Feng's eyes widened and he said slowly. Senior brother, your saliva. Zhang Chen said with disgust from the side. As for Qingjian, after feeling Shui again, he felt a turmoil in his heart. He saw that the girl was only a teenager, but her realm had already reached the divine vein. Compared to his most proud disciple, Zhang Feng, 2 realms higher than that. Hello, may I ask what's wrong with you? Shui said slowly. Ahem, this girl, I am the sect leader of Qingfeng sect, Qingjian. May I ask what I call her? Qing Jian kept his attitude very low and humble, because he believed Zhang Feng's words. You can just call me Sui. My master named me it. It sounds nice. Shui said with a smile. Miss Sui, she really lives up to her name. Miss Sui, you came here to visit Rashleigh today, but actually. Before Qing Jian could finish speaking, Shui immediately said. Okay, you guys come in first, my master is in the courtyard. After Shui finished speaking, he turned around and walked towards the courtyard. Only the master and the apprentice were left. Look at me and I look at you. Let's go, once we get to this point, there's no turning back. Qing Jian gritted his teeth and immediately followed Shui. Entering the courtyard, everyone found that the environment here was not as gorgeous as they thought. It was very light and elegant. It was just an ordinary mortal's home, not even as good as their Qingfeng sex mansion. Master, they are coming. Shui said slowly to Li Bai, who was lying on the chair. Good. Qing Jian, when he saw Li Bai lying on the chair, he couldn't believe it because Li Bai was too young. Then he thought about it. The power of the Void Realm can already change his appearance. This is not surprising. It seems that even the great power of the Void Realm cannot resist the temptation of a handsome face. Qing Jian said in his heart. After Zhang Chen saw Li Bai's appearance, he pulled Zhang Feng's arm excitedly and said. Senior brother, have you seen it? He is so handsome. I originally thought that my senior brother was pretty handsome, but today I realized that he is a little more handsome than a big witch. There is no comparison at all. Just like a firefly and a bright moon. Zhang Feng, junior sister, are you polite? Besides, maybe someone has lived for thousands of years. Can you bear it? Get out. Sui, serve tea. Li Bai said slowly. Okay, master. Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 4. Immediately, Qing Jian mustered up his courage and stepped forward and said. This lord. Just call me young master. Li Bai waved his hand and said. Sir, I am Qing Jian, and these two are my apprentices, Zhang Feng and Zhang Chen. Qing Feng said extremely humbly, just kidding, this is the power of the Void Realm. Although he can't see through it, he doesn't dare to show off. Hello, sir. Hello, young master, I'm sorry to have come to visit you today. At this moment, Li Sui walked up to several people with 4 cups of tea and said. Guys, please have some tea. Thank you, Miss Sui, for your hard work. You're welcome, guys. My master said that those who come are guests. After Shui finished speaking, she walked behind Li Bai and began to rub her shoulders, acting like a little maid. Yes, to be able to practice soul gathering in this world and at such an age is considered to be a pretty good talent. Li Bai said with a smile, then picked up a cup of tea and took a sip. Young master, you are joking. Their talents are far different from those of the girl in snow clothes. Qing Jian cupped his hands and said with a smile, and then picked up the tea and took a sip. However, the next moment, he was stunned, his hands kept shaking, as if he had tasted the most wonderful thing in the world. When Zhang Feng and Zhang Chen saw their master's appearance, they also curiously took a sip, and were stunned the next moment, because they felt that the bottleneck of their realm was about to break through, and not only that, they seemed to have a better understanding of the avenue. For transparency. Sir, this is the soul clearing and enlightenment tea. Qing Jian said with trembling body and great fear. It's just ordinary tea. Li Bai waved his hand and said. Yes, Master Qing, it's just ordinary tea. Master, and I drink it every day. Shui on the side interjected, what's so strange about this tea? Yes, yes, I'm confused, it's just ordinary tea. Qing Jian immediately changed his words when he saw this, and at the same time he was extremely envious in his heart. Damn, I drink it every day. Oh, I'm so envious. They are indeed a wealthy family. I wonder if they still need a dog. Zhang Feng and Zhang Chen seemed to have seen some clues after seeing this scene, and they echoed. Yes, yes, this tastes just like ordinary tea. That's right, it's just ordinary. Subsequently, within 10 minutes, Qing Jian and Li Bai chatted about many things, including some understanding of the Dao. He knew that this was his chance, because this young Master Li was probably a descendant of a large family in the immortal world. Otherwise it would be impossible to drink the Qinghun Enlightenment tea every day. Listen, Qing Jian nodded one after another at Li Bai's understanding of Dao, not because of how much he had been taught, but because he didn't understand it at all. Sir, I have benefited a lot from today's talk. It's getting late, so we won't bother you anymore. Qing Jian said slowly. Aren't you going to stay for a quick dinner? Sir, I've helped you enough today, how dare you stay for dinner? Qing Jian shook his head and said. Okay, Sui, let's see the guests off. Okay, master. By the way, sir, I wonder if we can take these cups of tea away. Qing Jian asked cautiously. Certainly. Thank you so much, sir. After saying that, he took another apprentice and walked out of the hospital. Miss Sui, there's no need to send me any more. You and the young master should go back to have dinner as soon as possible. Okay, then you are welcome to be our guests again. By the way, my master asked me to give you this jade pendant. If anything happens, just crush the jade pendant. Shui handed Qing Jian a jade pendant and said slowly. Miss Sui, thank you sir for me. Qing Jian said solemnly that he understood the value of this jade pendant and should not be used unless absolutely necessary. On the way back, Zhang Feng asked cautiously. Master, that cup of tea. Shut up, it's just ordinary tea, don't ask any more questions. Qing Jian said seriously. Oh okay, I know. By the way, have you finished your tea? Without a master, we only took a sip and felt like we couldn't drink any more. Zhang Feng and Zhang Chen took out 2 cups of tea and spoke slowly. Bring it to you. In an instant, Qing Jian put 2 cups of tea directly into his bag. Master, what are you doing? Ahem, you can't control this cup of tea. Let me control it. Don't worry, I will save a sip for you. When Qing Feng saw this, he said with an awe-inspiring expression. At this moment, Liang Ran realized that he had been tricked by a big guy. This master is such a bad guy. Speaking of which, master, what does the young master mean by giving us the jade pendant? Zhang Chen said doubtfully. How can we figure out the young master's thoughts? Besides, if the young master really has malicious intentions, do you think we can escape? Qing Jian said slowly. Yeah too. At this moment, in the courtyard, Shui said with a smile. He, master, do you think highly of those people just now? How do I say this? I don't know, but it just feels like it, and you also gave them a jade pendant. Shui shook his head and said. Yes, I can feel the breath of old friends in them. Li Bai said calmly. Old friend? Master, are you your friend? So be it. At this moment, in the Kangtian immortal realm, on an extremely large island suspended in the air, the phantom of the golden dragon of the divine phoenix kept circling, making dragon roars and phoenix cries. There are rumors that the heir of a legendary figure in the imperial family, the Ye family, is about to be born. This is extremely important to the Kangtian immortal realm. Countless forces are closely watching the Ye family's suspended island. In the suspended island, there is an extremely magnificent palace. Many elders of the Ye family breathed rapidly, staring at the baby in the cradle. Haha, worthy of our Ye family's emperor's son, he is actually a Deofixian body. Great, Deofixian body, I didn't expect it to be this kind of physique. According to legend, in the era of the emperor's fall, there was an emperor who relied on this Deofixian body to kill 2 emperors. God bless the Ye family, God bless the Ye family. Hee, now our plan can finally begin. Why not call him Yefan, the same name as his father? I hope he can inherit his father. No problem, just call him Yefan. The baby looked around in amazement. I also became a member of the crossing army, and it seems that I was born in a very amazing family. Also, this Deofixian body, is it my physique? It sounds awesome. Tisk tisk, I will survive on Blue Star for a lifetime, and I will definitely stand at the top in this life and overlook the eternity. Ding, congratulations to the host, awakening the sign-in system. At this time, a cold mechanical sound rang in Yefan's mind. System, the golden finger is here, come and tell me what function it has. Host, you can sign in every day, and the content of the sign-in is random? Is there a novice gift package? Of course, your Deofixian body is the novice gift package. Today, you can sign in once more. Do you want to sign in? Of course. However, before Yefan finished speaking, the system immediately said. Ding, sorry host, this system has found a more suitable candidate. By host, by the way, the Deofixian body is compensation, goodbye, oh no, never see you again. After hearing this from the system, Yefan was confused. What the hell, the system ran away? System. Yefan kept calling the system in his mind, but there was no response, and then he remembered the system's words, he found a more suitable candidate, and immediately became furious. Damn it, who dares to steal the system of this prince? I must tear you to pieces. An elder suddenly realized something was wrong and said slowly. No, the chance of the prince seems to be weaker. No, it was stolen. An elder said with his eyes shining. This is a very special talent, called the pupil of chance, which means that it can find the chance. Damn it, who dares to steal the chance of our Ye family's prince? I'll go find it now. Don't worry about it for now. At least the Deofixian body has not disappeared. No one in our Ye family can steal it. It will come back sooner or later. Go and care about the prince first. Yes. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 5. In the human world, Li Bai was eating when a mechanical voice suddenly came from his mind. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have awakened the sign-in system. This system will help the host to continuously improve its strength and become the emperor, and even the master of the entire fairy world. Huh? System. That's right, host, hurry up and sign in. The system said impatiently. I'm curious, why did you choose me? Li Bai asked slowly. Of course it's because the host is the son of destiny, and your body contains extremely huge destiny. The cold mechanical sound of the system came slowly. Hearing this sentence, Li Bai couldn't help but laugh. If Tiandao heard the sentence, he didn't know what he would think. You must know that Tiandao and him have always been rivals and enemies, and now a rebel has appeared. Haha, that's really interesting. Come to think of it, I haven't seen a system for millions of years, right? Li Bai said calmly. This time, the system was confused. What do you mean by not seeing a system for millions of years? This was different from what he imagined. Then he prepared to investigate Li Bai, but found that he could not check it no matter what. They are just products of heaven. Look what these are. Are they your brothers and sisters? Immediately, Li Bai took out energy balls that exuded white light, which contained extremely strong aura of heaven. This is why the system said that Li Bai would contain extremely majestic heavenly luck. No, it's impossible. This is the spirit of the system. Who are you, who are you? The system's extremely horrifying voice came into Li Bai's mind. At this moment, he wanted to escape, but found that he was tightly bound by a ray of supreme power. Hey, I thought that after being dormant for decades, Tiandao would have some new plans, but now it seems like these are just the leftovers. Li Bai sighed and said disappointedly. Who are you? Oh, Tiandao didn't tell you, I'm his old friend. In one sentence, the system will be shocked for 10,000 years. You are, the Emperor in White. Impossible, impossible, isn't the White Emperor already dead? The system suddenly thought of a person and then spoke incoherently. Haha, that old guy from Tiandao is not dead, how could I die? Let me go, please, let me go, I am willing to surrender to you. The system said humbly. Do you think I need these things? After hearing this, the system also knew its result and said resentfully. Just wait, Emperor in White, God will not let you go, you will die miserably, ha ha ha. The laughter stopped suddenly, and Li Bai had another energy ball in his hand. Noisy. Master, what are these things in your hands? Shui asked curiously when she saw the system spirit in Li Bai's hand. By the way, I'll give these to you. If you encounter anything you don't like in the future, just smash them. Li Bai said slowly. Ah, just smash it, will it work, master? Shui said curiously. Well, how should I put it? If we smash them all, the emperor wouldn't dare to say so. It would probably kill a quasi-emperor. Li Bai said calmly. Master, stop joking, it's so annoying. Shui glanced at her mouth and said, she didn't believe that these energy balls could kill a quasi-emperor. What was a quasi-emperor? They were the strongest group of people under the emperor. Although it is said that all people under the great emperor are ants, in this era when the great emperor is not born, the quasi-emperor is the supreme ruler of the fairy world. In response, Li Bai smiled softly and did not explain too much. Anyway, she would know it later. Just when the system died, countless people with the destiny of the system in all the worlds all heard a cold mechanical voice in their minds. Ding, here comes the final mission, hosts, please kill this person. Final mission reward, Crown of Heaven. Then, Li Bai's slightly blurry face appeared in everyone's mind. After hearing this sentence, almost everyone was excited, and their hearts were ready to move. They kept using their own network to search for Li Bai, but the result may be disappointing to them. They must know that Li Bai even has his own causal line. It can be cut off, and no one can find him unless he deliberately. Of course, they don't care about all this. What they care more about is the crown of heaven. No matter what your physique or cultivation level, you can be promoted to quasi-emperor without going through the path of the great emperor. Who among all the people in the world can resist it? This temptation? The immortal realm of the emperor, the eternal family, the Li family. After hearing these words, the emperor's son of the Li family was ecstatic at first, but then he discovered a clue. Hosts? Could it be that there are other systems? And the reward is actually the crown of heaven. In other words, this system is just a product of heaven. And who is this person? The person who can make the system issue such a generous reward. I'm afraid he is a very scary person. Interesting, interesting. This is obviously God treating us as pawns. Immediately, he asked in his mind. Can the system find out this person's strength and specific appearance? Ding, I can't answer the host. I can only confirm that this person is in the lower realm of a fairy land. The lower realm? A person who defies heaven. After thinking for a moment, the son of the Li family, was the first to think of this word. Haha, well, let's wait and see who is the chess piece and who is the chess player. At the same time, many people with destiny also noticed the word they, but they were not afraid of it. After all, everyone believed that they were the real people with destiny. Even if they knew that they were just chess pieces now, they were still happy to do it. After all, this game of chess has just been played, and it is not certain who is the chess piece. As the saying goes, fighting against the sky is endless fun. In an unknown place, a yellow dog was happily chewing the bones in his mouth. If you look closely, you will find that there are golden dragons engraved on the bones, and there is also a faint breath of the quasi-emperor level. After hearing this sentence in his mind and seeing Li Bai's blurred face, he instantly grinned and a tear was left in his dog eyes. Haha, I found it, I knew it must not be dead. The dog emperor, finally waited for this day. The big yellow dog then transformed into a human form, with his hands on his waist, laughing wildly, and his laughter was incomparably harsh. System, thank you, you are useless. The big yellow dog said in his mind. Ding! Host, what does this mean? I have lived in your body for tens of thousands of years, relying on each other, helping you so much, but you turned around and abandoned me, scumbag dog. Hee hee, do you know who you asked me to kill? Who? Li Bai. Who is Li Bai? The mastermind behind the emperor's fall. The big yellow dog said with a smile. I am just a small system, don't joke with me. Who is joking with you? And he is my master. This sentence completely shocked the system, and it crashed for a short time. I know you are a product of heaven, otherwise, do you think I, a quasi-emperor, need you? I just used you. Now I finally found my master, you can die. No, I think I can still be saved. Before the system finished speaking, a pure white, extremely rich energy light ball slowly appeared from De Huang's body, and then De Huang took out another identical light ball and muttered to himself. Tisk tisk, worthy of being the master, could it be that he had planned this a million years ago? That's right, it was because De Huang himself had an energy light ball that the system found him. After saying that, De Huang took out a pair of white shorts, sniffed them fiercely, and then sniffed somewhere else, and said in surprise. Haha, master, I De Huang found you. Fortunately, I was smart and stole a pair of your shorts at that time, otherwise I don't know when I can find you. Hee hee, master, I De Huang is here. Just as De Huang was about to break through the void and go to the Kangtian fairyland, he suddenly thought of something. No, I have to tell Nanyi about this first, she will definitely be happy. Then, De Huang kept calling Nanyi's name in his mind. Sister Nanyi, I am De Huang, can you hear me? It's so noisy, De Huang, if you have any fart, hurry up, or I will stew you. Soon, the voice of the Queen of Nanyi came from the other side. Woo woo, Sister Nanyi, I haven't seen you for so long, don't you miss me? De Huang said aggrievedly. Miss you? Why would I miss a dog? Sister Nanyi, this dog, I, De Huang, have a big surprise. What surprise, you become the dog emperor? Nanyi asked in confusion. This is a little short of 100 million. What is that? Tell me quickly, I'm very busy. Hee hee, I found my master. Surprise. De Huang said with a big mouth, he could imagine Nanyi crying bitterly. Oh, that's it? What do you mean that's it, Sister Nanyi, aren't you happy, aren't you excited, aren't you excited? Why excited? Because, you can rush again. Halfway through, De Huang quickly covered his mouth. Damn De Huang, you're done for. Don't let me catch you, or you'll be in trouble. When I see the master again, I'll make him stew you. By the way, a quasi-earth level dog whip must be a great tonic. After Nanyi finished speaking, she immediately broke off, but there was still a little shyness in her words. It's over, it's all my fault. It's going to become soup now. De Huang was stunned in place, saying aggrieved, helpless and insignificant, especially the last sentence. He believed it without a doubt, because when he just followed Li Bai, Nanyi often pinched his balls, saying that it felt good. No, what do you mean by seeing the master again? Damn, has Sister Nanyi seen the master? Damn, I said, why is she so calm? She didn't even tell this dog emperor. De Huang grinned after figuring it out. Forget it, never mind, master, I'm coming. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 6. At this moment, in the palace of Qingfeng sect, Qingjian and several elders were discussing something. Qingjian, is the other party really a powerful person in the Void Realm? You have to know that even the great Yan dynasty does not have the powerful person in the Void Realm. Maybe the oldest sects do, but they are all on the verge of decay. The great elder frowned and said slowly. Elder, I'm sure that first of all, I can't see through the other person's realm. Secondly, this young master is really too young. You know, many old monsters like to change themselves. Of course, the most important thing is the third point. After Qingjian finished speaking, he took out 2 cups of tea. The aroma of the tea overflowed and was refreshing, as if his soul had been washed. The moment the 2 cups of tea appeared, all the elders were extremely shocked. They felt that their understanding of the Dao had deepened. Don't underestimate this ray. Sometimes just this ray of understanding is enough to improve their level. Great strength of its own. This is Xuanhuan enlightenment tea. The great elder stammered. That's right, elder, this is the soul clearing and enlightenment tea. Qingjian nodded and said. Which lord does it belong to? Well, the young master bought me a drink. Asshole, return it quickly. It's your chance to buy you a drink, but how can you bring it back without permission? De Chang cursed Qingjian vehemently. Elder, you misunderstood. I asked the young master, and he allowed me to take it back, and the young master said that these are just ordinary tea leaves. Qingjian said aggrievedly. Real. The great elder stared seriously into Qingjian's innocent eyes. Really, great elder, otherwise I will have no butthole when I give birth to a child. Qingjian said seriously and sincerely, with a look in his eyes, you believe me, you believe me. Forget it, I believe you for now. After finishing speaking, the great elder took the 2 cups of tea from Qingjian's hands with the force of thunder. Great elder, you. Ahem, you are still young and can't control it. Let me take care of it. Damn it, elder, you lied, attacked sneakily, and showed no martial ethics. Qingjian said in a loud voice. What's wrong with respecting the old and loving the young? What's wrong with taking 2 cups of tea from you? The great elder glanced at him sideways, and then said slowly. If it is true as you say, then this lord is simply unfathomable. You must know that only some families in the fairy world can have Xuanhuan enlightenment tea. Hearing this sentence, Qingjian was a little confused. Great elder, where did the cup of tea we drank before come from? You don't have to ask any more questions about this. Damn it, you couldn't have stolen it again, right? I'm just telling you where did my craftsmanship come from. The feelings are the same. Get out. The great elder puffed his beard and stared, annoyed. Qingjian, we can only be friends with this gentleman, and we must not have any disputes with him, you know. The great elder said seriously. Great elder, Don't worry. I am well versed in the art of licking a dog. I will lick this young master, even if the emperor comes, it will be useless. Qing Jian patted his chest and said seriously. Just as a few people were studying how to lick a dog, panicked sounds came from outside the hall. Sect master, it's not good. An inner disciple ran in extremely panicked. What's the matter? Are you panicking? Someone fell into the pit. Qing Jian frowned and said. It's the evil sword sect, the evil sword sect is here. What, the evil knife faction, what are they doing here? The great elder frowned and said slightly worriedly. I don't know, not only that, there are also people from the great Yan dynasty. After hearing these words, several people could no longer hold back and immediately headed to the mountain gate. A few minutes later, the great elder and his party arrived at the mountain gate. Looking at the dense crowd of people, there was a huge military flag behind it, swaying slightly in the wind, with a huge flame engraved on it. It was obviously the army of the great Yan dynasty. Hey, old man, you can give it up. I thought you were going to hide in the mountain gate all the time. From now on, don't call me Qingjian, call me Qingui. The leader of the evil sword sect, Xiefeng looked at Qingjian and said mockingly. Xiefeng, your ass has a mouth, isn't it? You talk so bad. Qingjian is on full fire at the moment, and now they have a backer. Hey, there is someone behind me, I am not afraid. Qingjian, don't be angry. Tell me, what do you mean? The great elder said with an evil look. What do you mean? Isn't it obvious? I won't talk nonsense to you. I am here on behalf of the great Yan dynasty. As long as you submit to the great Yan dynasty, you can avoid the annihilation of the sect today. Xiefeng said with a smile. Did you know that your manufacturer went bankrupt? A hot-tempered elder said sarcastically. His manufacturer, oh. You are worthy of being an elder, your insults are so fresh and refined. Qingjian nodded and said. You're sharp-tongued, so there's nothing to talk about, right? Stop talking nonsense and fight on your side. I could push you into the pit before, and I can still do that now. If you don't eat the toast, you'll be fined with wine and attack the goal. Xiefeng gave the order, and the dense crowd behind him immediately took action. All disciples of Qingfeng sect, prepare to fight. Open the sect protecting formation. After the great elder finished speaking, he immediately joined forces with several elders nearby to activate the sect protecting formation. In an instant, a blue cover enveloped the entire mountain. Ah! All of a sudden, mournful cries began. Of course, these were not the disciples of the Qingfeng sect, but the disciples of the evil sword section. After coming into contact with the sect protecting formation, they were immediately annihilated in ashes. Come on, big idiot, come in, I'll let you have sex when you come in. Qingjian kept scratching and posing, making Xiefeng look as uncomfortable as if he had eaten shit. Seeing this, Xiefeng knew that his strength was not enough to break through Qingfeng sect's sect protecting formation, and then he said to a man next to him very humbly. General, please help me attack the door. You're a piece of trash, you can't even break a turtle shell. However, I am very curious that a small Qingfeng sect can actually have such a sect protecting formation, even though it is incomplete. The man next to him said disdainfully that in his opinion, the people of these sects were trash, and even a single soldier from the great Yan dynasty would beat them up. After finishing speaking, the man burst out with his own strength, and in an instant, an extremely majestic majesty swept across the entire audience. The pressure of the heavenly realm continued to torture everyone present. When the great elders and the others saw each other's realm, their expressions turned extremely ugly instantly. The Tongtian realm was a realm higher than their great elders. They were worthy of being generals sent by the great Yan dynasty. Great elder, What should I do? The other party is in the heaven-bearing realm. An elder said anxiously. Forget it, maybe this is the fate of our Qingfeng section. You can take the Qingfeng sect disciples and escape quickly. I will cover you. After a long time, the great elder sighed and said slowly. In an instant, he seemed to have aged more than 10 years. The great elder, who was already in his twilight years, was like a candle in the wind at this moment. The Tongtian realm was like a huge mountain pressing down on him, making it impossible for him to breathe. Great elder, what are you talking about? We are also members of the Qingfeng sect, how can we escape? That's right, great elder, even if we die, we will die with them. Great elder, maybe we can still be saved. At this moment, Qingjian, who frowned, slowly said. Qingjian, needless to say, I am now in my twilight years. If I were still in my prime, I might still be able to fight twice, but now. The great elder shook his head and said slowly. Have you forgotten, there is also a young master? Qingjian said as he slowly took out a jade pendant. When the great elder saw this jade pendant, his pupils suddenly dilated and he said tremblingly. This is. Young master gave it to me, and now there is nothing else I can do. After Qingjian finished speaking, he directly crushed the jade pendant. On the other side, Li Bai, who was still drinking tea and enjoying Sui Ai's leg-beating service, said slowly. Come on, Sui Ai, I'll take you somewhere. Ah, master, where are you going? Go and do a little favor for an old friend. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 7. Outside the gate of Qingfeng Zongshan. The general of the Great Yan dynasty gathered all his strength, pointed a finger, and a huge and ferocious fire dragon appeared from the sky and rushed directly towards the Qingfeng sect's formation. Click. With just one blow, the sect protecting formation was broken. Seeing this scene, all the disciples of the Qingfeng sect swallowed their saliva. How could they fight? Brother, do you think we will die here today? Zhang Chen said slowly to Zhang Feng beside him. Maybe. Zhang Feng gritted his teeth and said. Qingfeng sect, I will give you one more chance. If you submit to our great Yan dynasty, the sect's destruction this time will be avoided. The general of the great Yan dynasty, flying above the crowd, stared at the group of ants and said slowly. But Xie Feng was happy. Haha, Qingjian, aren't you very good at speaking? When an old sow wears a bra, you do one thing after another. A bunch of idiots, you really think you can defeat us? Yeah. At this moment, an extremely calm voice slowly came from the void. Immediately, Li Bai and Li Sui slowly walked out of the void. It's young master is here to save us. Zhang Chen below was extremely excited after seeing Li Bai. Yes, our Qingfeng sect can be saved now. Zhang Feng said excitedly. Who is that? So handsome. I don't know. Could it be that the great elder asked for reinforcements? Rescue, you are too young. Did you overlook a problem? This gentleman came directly from the void. Damn it, the power of the void realm, don't be joking, maybe there is some secret treasure. After the great elder saw Li Bai, he slowly asked Qingjian. Qingjian, this is. That's right, it's the young master. Qingjian nodded and said excitedly, he didn't expect that the jade pendant given to him by Li Bai would actually be useful. Who are you? When the general of the great Yan dynasty saw Li Bai suddenly appearing in front of him, he frowned and asked, since the other party can also fly, it means that he is at least on the same level as himself. As for why Li Bai walked out of the void, the generals of the great Yan dynasty took it for granted that the other party had some secret treasure. As for the void realm, they didn't even think about it. After all, there was no great master of the void realm in the entire great Yan dynasty. I'm just an ordinary person. Li Bai said calmly. Humph, Your Excellency, I advise you not to come to this muddy water, otherwise even if you are in the heaven-bearing realm, you will die here. The general of the great Yan dynasty said with an evil look. Are you threatening me? Li Bai raised his eyes and said slowly. You can use it as a threat, if you are not afraid of the great Yan dynasty behind me. Haha, interesting, interesting. Li Bai said with a smile, and then snapped his fingers. Phew puff. I saw Xiefeng and other evil sword sect and all the soldiers of the great Yan dynasty dying violently and falling down one after another. There was not even a wailing sound. Blood flowers kept emerging, and the ground was instantly dyed red with blood, like purgatory on earth. The whole place was dead silent. When the disciples and elders of the Qingfeng sect saw this scene, they seemed to be immobilized and opened their mouths wide. What a powerful force this was, killing thousands of immortal cultivators with a snap of their fingers. Only Qing Jian and his two disciples seemed slightly calm, but they couldn't stop trembling. What exactly? Noisy. The general of the Dian dynasty said tremblingly. Before he could finish his words, Li Bai glanced at him and instantly became a fan. At this moment, some spies in the distant mountains and forests took a breath of cold air and their pupils kept trembling after seeing this scene. Who is this person? He killed a general who is in the Tongtian realm with just one look. You must report it to the imperial court as soon as possible. It seems that Qingfeng sect is not as simple as we thought. No, you have to go back and report to the sect as soon as possible. Go down, Sui. Ah, that's it? Master, why don't you let me participate too? Shui pouted her mouth and said slowly. Don't worry, there will be times when you will be involved. Immediately, Li Bai and Sui appeared in front of everyone. Master. Qing Jian said respectfully. Go to the main hall. Yes. After Li Bai and others left, the sluggish disciples also reacted and instantly burst into deafening cheers. FCK, FCK, F***CK, this is too fierce. It's terrible to kill tens of thousands of immortal cultivators with just one snap of your fingers. Wow, that adult is so handsome, I want to have sex with him. Do what? Of course, let this adult explore the unknown forest. Hee, I want it too. You're a boy, okay. That's exciting. Hee, fencing is good, brother, I've wanted to discuss it with you for a long time. Ah, don't come over. In the main hall, Li Bai Hengdao immediately sat on the main seat, while Sui kept beating his legs and shoulders. Great Elder, now, do you believe it? Qing Jian whispered beside the Great Elder. The Great Elder nodded blankly, how could he not believe this? Immediately, the Great Elder walked up to Li Bai and said with great respect. Sir, thank you for your help. We will go through fire and water for any request, no matter what. It's okay, it's just a trivial matter, not worth mentioning. Li Bai waved his hand and said. Then, the Great Elder hesitated for a while, took a deep breath and said slowly. Sir, may I ask a question? Ask. What is your relationship with our ancestor, Qingfeng? After hearing what the Great Elder said, everyone else present was confused. When did there be an ancestor Qingfeng? They are considered friends. Li Bai said slowly. Great Elder, what is going on? When will our Qingfeng sect have an ancestor Qingfeng? Qing Jian asked doubtfully. Hearing this, the Great Elder looked at Li Bai. Just say it. Yes. After sorting out his thoughts, the Great Elder said slowly. Actually, our Qingfeng sect, originally named Qingfeng Holy Land, was founded by our ancestor Qingfeng. Qingfeng Holy Land? Why have you never heard of this name? Of course you haven't heard of it, because Qingfeng Holy Land was originally in the Kangtian Fairy Land, which is the fairyland. This sentence directly caused everyone present to fall into a daze. Immortal world? Great Elder, are you saying that our Qingfeng sect was originally a force in the immortal world? Qing Jian looked at the Great Elder in disbelief and said, "Damn it, is there any script behind this, the return of the god of war?" "That's right." "Then why?" "Because we have offended a family." "Family? To be precise, it's the imperial clan." Boom. These words stirred up waves in the hearts of everyone present, and they all stared at the Great Elder in disbelief. "That's right, it's the imperial clan. This imperial clan's surname is Yet." "Yet? Which Emperor Yetiandi's family are you talking about?" This is what Li Bai, who was sitting in the main seat, asked slowly. "Sir, I don't know this. After all, I have been here since I was born. These things are recorded in an ancient book of our Qingfeng sect." The Great Elder said slowly. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 8. Great Elder, what happened next? Qing Jian asked eagerly. Later, the ancestor of Qingfeng, for the sake of Qingfeng Holy Land, moved his branch to the lower realm, which is where it is now. After hundreds of thousands of years, our Qingfeng Holy Land has gradually declined. The first generation of Great Elders, in order not to insulting the glory of Qingfeng Holy Land and changing its name to Qingfeng sect. The Holy Land of Qingfeng has also disappeared in the long river of history. The Great Elder shook his head and sighed. What about ancestor Qingfeng? Have no idea. This. Hearing these words, everyone present had mixed feelings after learning about this period of history. Great Elder, why didn't you tell us about this? Well, after all, we are just a branch. What's more, we have insulted the glory of Qingfeng Holy Land. How can I have the face to tell this history? The Great Elder said with his trembling old body. Damn it, damn the imperial clan, we must seek justice for our Qingfeng Holy Land. Yes, that's right, we must seek justice. Many elders present said with envy. The Great Elder just shook his head at this. They didn't know the prestige and majesty of these two words, imperial clan. If the people of the Ye family knew what they said, they would definitely laugh at each other. A ray of light that is about to disappear in the crack attempts to challenge the blazing sun in the sky. This is a joke in itself. Li Bai also smiled slightly and didn't say anything. Master, why are you laughing? Shui asked suspiciously upon seeing this. Sui, do you know the word imperial clan? Well, master, you told me at the time that there is a family with a great emperor. What do you think of their current thinking? Li Bai pointed at Qing Jian and others and said calmly. Well, although there is something wrong, I have to say that it is too delusional and ignorant. Shui hesitated for a moment and then slowly said, as long as the word God is touched, all the vows will become extremely small and arrogant. Haha, you are right, but I quite like this kind of ignorant arrogance. Ah, why, master? Shui asked doubtfully. In the future, you will know that this is mankind's greatest asset against gods, demons, immortals, and monsters. Li Bai said slowly, in his eyes, nothing is impossible. Nan Yi also made such a delusional vow at that time, but now, it is not just about kicking the emperor and punching the quasi-emperor. Oh. Shui nodded in understanding. You will know when you meet your senior sister later. Li Bai touched his fingers and said slowly. Ah, master, I and senior sister are here, where are they? Where are they? Li Sui asked excitedly and curiously. You'll find out later. I'm afraid if you see me now, I'll scare you to death. Humph, you stinky master, you can draw cakes for me. Shui said dissatisfied in her heart. Then, Li Bai slowly said in his mind. Nanyi. Here, master, he, Do you miss me? I miss you so much. Let me ask you something. Oh, well, you ask. Do you know Qing Feng? Qing Feng? Let me think about it. After thinking for a moment, Nanyi slowly said. I remember, Master, wasn't Qing Feng the one you passed by at that time, somewhere in the fairy world, and randomly pointed out a brat? Later I heard that he was famous for his stealing skills. Hearing these words, Li Bai's face twitched. Damn, what he was taught at that time was for him to steal. Where is he now? Well, I really don't know about this. I vaguely remember that this kid seemed to have offended the Ye family at that time, and was subsequently exiled by a certain emperor of the damn Ye family. Exiled. In other words, there is a small probability of still being alive. Huh, who knows, this brat will show off his skills. I asked him if he needed my help, but he said that he could handle it by himself. Now it's okay. Nanyi said angrily. When did this happen? An era after the fall of the emperor. You must have a conflict with the Ye family. Upon hearing this, Nanyi immediately said aggrievedly. Master, I was bullied by them. They bullied me, a weak woman. It's terrible, it's terrible. Master, you have to avenge your favorite disciple. Young master, do you think I don't know? Later, you killed the great emperor with extremely cruel methods. Master, how did you know? I have spies in all the worlds. What do you think? By the way, didn't you save that kid later? I would like to, but I can't locate the coordinates. The location of the exile seems to be over there in the chaotic deep space. You also know the deep space of chaos, Master, I don't dare to go. Nanyi sighed and said slowly. Okay, I understand, you should deal with your side of things first. After Li Bai finished speaking, he immediately hung up. Hey, Master, Master. Ah, damn stinky Master, he doesn't even care about others. In a forbidden area, Nanyi stamped her feet and said angrily, while a pleading voice came from under her feet. Nanyi Empress, can you please let me go? I can't breathe. I'm going to be trampled to death by you. Then, she looked at her delicate and white jade feet, and saw that she was stepping on a quasi-emperor level demon. Then she said angrily. It's all your fault. Why are you shouting so loudly? Die for me. After that, Nanyi exerted force on her feet, and with the sound of wailing, the quasi-emperor of the demon clan fell in humiliation. The cause of death was that he spoke too loudly. On the other side, Li Bai sat in the main seat and thought slowly. Suddenly, he remembered something and then slowly said to Sui. Sui, I'm going to do something. Ah, Master, you. Before Sui finished speaking, Li Bai disappeared directly in the hall, leaving only the elders looking at each other blankly. Where is the young master? Ah, I'm not going, I'm not going. At this moment, in the underworld of the Kangtian immortal realm, Li Bai walked across the Nahi bridge and stepped over the yellow spring as if he was entering his own back garden, until he walked to the outside of an extremely gloomy hall, which was filled with an extremely strong breath of death. Stop, who are you? The ox-headed and horse-faced demon shouted angrily after seeing Li Bai appear in front of him. An ordinary person. No, you are from the Yang realm. Don't you know that people from the Yang realm cannot enter the underworld without permission, not to mention an ant in the void realm? Although I don't know how you got here, you must die. After the ox-headed and horse-faced demon finished speaking, he showed a cruel smile, and the realm of the God King instantly erupted, filling the entire sky, and a soul-catching chain rushed directly towards Xuanhuan. After feeling the aura of the God King, countless ghosts around said. Hiss, what are you doing again, the bull-headed and horse-faced God King? I don't know, maybe someone from the Yang world has come again. This is the first time, some are really not afraid of death. Just when the soul-catching chain was about to penetrate Li Bai, the chain broke in an instant. How is it possible, you are not in the void realm? The bull-headed god king widened his eyes and said in shock. Sir, I am sorry, please come in. No problem. Li Bai said with a smile, and then teleported directly into the hall. Only the bull-headed and horse-faced god king was stunned. Did I hear it wrong just now? It was the voice of the Emperor Xuanhuan just now. The bull-headed god king said in a daze. No, you heard it right, it was the voice of Emperor Xuanhuan, and, he actually called that person Your Excellency. Horse-faced man said in great panic, his whole body was shaking, his soul seemed to be condensed. Being called Your Excellency by Emperor Xuanhuan meant that the other party was at least an emperor, and the quasi-emperor didn't have this honor. Did we narrow the road? We actually offended an emperor just now. Don't look at the two of them as god kings, perhaps in any family in the fairy world, they are all ancestors, but to face the emperor, they are just slightly bigger ants. How about, die to apologize? Okay, you die first and let me see. Why don't you die first? I don't dare, I'm afraid of pain. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 9. In the main hall, a rickety figure slowly appeared in front of Li Bai, with ravines on his face, as if carved by the years. Even though he was entering his twilight years, his body still faintly exuded the imperial power that shocked all the worlds. In his eyes, there seems to be a road to the end, sinking into the sea of misery, and ending the dusk. This person is Emperor Xuanhuan, one of the current supreme rulers of the underworld, an emperor who owns 2 forbidden avenues and 10 main avenues, especially the ending avenue, which is among the best among the forbidden avenues. Similarly, this is also a great emperor who survived the emperor's fall. I didn't expect that you could survive until now. Li Bai said with a smile, as if he was an old friend he hadn't seen for many years. Your Excellency, know me, which emperor you are? Emperor Xuanhuan said doubtfully. Just now he felt the vague imperial power on Li Bai, so he thought that Li Bai was also an emperor. Why, you can't recognize me if I change my appearance. After Li Bai finished speaking, he changed back to the appearance he had before when he walked around the world. You are an adult. Old man, Xuanhuan, pay your respects to the emperor in white. After Emperor Xuanhuan saw Li Bai's face, his whole soul seemed to be bombarded by divine thunder, and he knelt down directly. It was hard to imagine how terrifying a person who could make an emperor kneel down could be. Looking at the entire world, it might be, no one can be found. Okay, get up quickly, your old bones are no longer afraid of falling apart. Li Bai waved his hand and said. Sir, I really didn't expect, I would see you again in my lifetime. Emperor Xuanhuan said excitedly with his body trembling. I didn't expect that Emperor Xuanhuan, who was so powerful in the immortal world in the past, is now entering his twilight years. Li Bai couldn't help but sigh and said, even the emperor who stood at the top of the pyramid could not withstand the erosion of time and the baptism of time, just like the emperor is not eternal. Sir, I have failed to live up to your expectations. From beginning to end, I have never been able to step into that realm. Emperor Xuanhuan lowered his head and said in shame. It's not your fault. Throughout history, whether they are immortals, demons, gods, demons, or emperors from the dark side, there are very few who can enter that realm. You are already very good. After Li Bai finished speaking, he felt the life flowing away from Emperor Xuanhuan and asked doubtfully. What happened to your injuries? Sir, you don't know something. In the years since you disappeared, there was a great war. Emperor Xuanhuan said slowly. I know, the burial place is right. Yes, the ancient killing array you set up at the burial ground was broken by several dark emperors. My injuries were caused at that time. Who else was there besides you? Empress Nanyi, the emperor of the end, me and Emperor Liang. And after? We won, but except for Empress Nanyi and I, the other two great emperors have fallen. Emperor Xuanhuan said sadly, you must know that the fallen emperors were all the emperors of their human race. Originally, after the Battle of Tiandao, the number of emperors on the human race was not dominant, and after the Battle of the Burial Ground, it was even more, adding insult to injury. A rough calculation shows that there are probably less than a dozen living emperors left on the human race, not counting those emperors who have almost died. I remember, didn't I say at that time that this ancient killing array requires immortals, demons, gods, and demons to fight against the human race together? Why is it only the human race's great emperor? Li Bai said calmly, but the aura around him became more and more intense, and even Emperor Xuanhuan felt extremely suffocated and depressed. Sir, you'd better see it for yourself. After Emperor Xuanhuan finished speaking, he passed on some influence to Li Bai. It was at that time that Emperor Xuanhuan and several people came to visit, hoping that the emperor from the side of immortals, demons, gods, and demons would fight together, but they were rejected by various excuses. Okay, very good. It seems that in the years since I disappeared, these great emperors have forgotten the fear back then. Li Bai's eyes were calm and there was a smile on the corner of his mouth, but as long as everyone who was around him knew that this was the most terrifying thing, it meant that Li Bai was really angry. In ancient times, when the emperor was angry, an entire realm would cease to exist, and Li Bai's anger was not as simple as just wiping out an entire realm. He needed the emperor's blood to heal him. Emperor Xuanhuan, after seeing Li Bai's words, immediately said respectfully and panicked. My lord, no, we can't start the Emperor's Fall War again now. We, the human race, have finally had a chance to breathe for so many years. In one, the number of our human race's great emperors of light is far outnumbered by the immortals, demons, gods, and monsters. Don't be nervous, even if I want to launch the Emperor's Fall War, it won't be at this time. Besides, why do you think I launched the Emperor's Fall War? Li Bai smiled and said calmly. Isn't it for us, the human race, to be equal to immortals, demons, gods, and monsters? Emperor Xuanhuan thought for a while and said doubtfully. Back then, Li Bai led the human race to launch the War of Emperor's Fall. The biggest gain was that he gained equal qualifications with immortals, demons, gods, and demons. This also made these geniuses of the human race no longer limited to spiritual energy, the path of the God King, and the path of the Great Emperor. In the past, these roads were controlled by the four races of gods, demons, fairies, and demons, and humans could only get a few places. This is only one aspect. As for the other side. After Li Bai finished speaking, he slowly took out a crystal, and sealed in the crystal was a flash of light. Yes, it was a flash of light. Sir, is this a ray of light? Emperor Xuanhuan was puzzled after seeing this ray of light. Even with his level as an emperor, he didn't find any clues. In his eyes, it was just an ordinary ray of light. That's right, this ray of light is called the light of origin, or another name, the light of the beginning. Li Bai said slowly. What, the light of the beginning? I didn't expect it to actually exist. According to legend, this was the first ray of light when the entire world was born. Together with the source of darkness at that time, it is collectively called the origin. Emperor Xuanhuan trembled all over after hearing this name. He never expected that he would actually be able to see the legendary thing in his lifetime. Sir, are you? That's right, I snatched it from Tiandao back then. Do you know why I want to steal this ray of light? Li Bai looked at Emperor Xuanhuan and said with a smile. I do not know about this. Emperor Xuanhuan scratched his head and said that this matter was no longer something that he, the emperor, could know. Perhaps only Tiandao, Emperor Wu, and Li Bai knew the secrets. Haha, because back then heaven wanted to use this ray of light to make a deal. Deal? With whom? Dark. Li Bai slowly uttered these two words, and after telling this secret, the sky in the Kangtian immortal realm suddenly became covered with black clouds, the wind and clouds roared, and countless purple divine thunders were accumulating, like a world-destroying disaster sent by heaven. Damn it, God's punishment, I actually saw God's punishment in my lifetime. Quick, record it? Damn it, you're not going to destroy the entire Kangtian immortal domain, are you? You are thinking too much. God's punishment is personal. Damn, that big guy is so awesome. In an instant, countless old antiques from the imperial clan began to speculate after feeling the strong world-destroying power of the heavenly Dao. God's punishment? Is there someone who defies heaven again? Send someone to check whether there is anyone who defies heaven in the Kangtian immortal realm. Yes. At this moment, Li Bai in the underworld, after feeling the punishment of the gods against him, looked through all the worlds to the sky, and said slowly. Go away, otherwise I don't mind starting the Emperor's Fall War again, or I just crush the light in my hand. When the words are spoken, God's punishment disappears. Just because of this sentence, the divine punishment of heaven disappeared directly, but there was still a divine thunder roaring in the sky, as if expressing dissatisfaction with Li Bai. Damn it, threatening me with taking my things is simply not human. Huh? Disappeared. So quickly. Could it be that he is already dead? Bah, what kind of divine punishment? It's less than 3 seconds. It's not as long as mine. At least I can last for half a minute. Hey, brother, you are very proud. Interject, is your wife beautiful? Is she safe? Of course it's safe. Thank you for your concern. You're such a nice person. I want to be friends with you. On the other side, Emperor Xuanhuan was trembling like a minion. Li Bai was not afraid of the way of heaven, but that did not mean that they, the great emperors, were not afraid. You must know that when they reached the realm of great emperors, apart from the darkness, only the punishment of the way of heaven scared them the most. Unless you are not within the management scope of heavenly Dao. Ahem, sir, you'd better stop talking, I'm afraid. Emperor Xuanhuan said dumbfounded. Sir, you must be looking for me for more than that this time, right? Emperor Xuanhuan asked slowly. Yes, I want you to help me check if a person is still alive. Li Bai said slowly. Oh, sir, it's not that I won't help you, I really can't do anything. You also know that during the battle of Emperor Luo, I lost my judge's pen. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 10. Emperor Xuanhuan said with regret that the judge's pen and the Book of Life and Death were two of Huanquan's natal imperial weapons, which had the ability to judge life and death and check people in all realms. In addition, Huanquan's Forbidden Avenue and the Avenue of Ending also required these two imperial weapons to exert their true power. Look at what this is. Li Bai said with a smile, and then slowly threw a brush to Emperor Xuanhuan. In an instant, the imperial power filled the entire hall, and the ox head and horse face guarding outside the hall also felt this ray of imperial power at this moment. Imperial power. What's going on? Did the two adults fight? Horseface said in panic. No, it's the judge's pen, an imperial weapon, the judge's pen. Naoto said excitedly. What? Judge's pen, are you sure? Nonsense, how could I be wrong, don't forget that I have used the judge's pen. Naoto was a little incoherent. But, The judge's pen, wasn't it lost? Could it be brought by that lord? After thinking of this, Horseface felt that he was going to die. It's over, now we must die to apologize, the Emperor's Majesty cannot be insulted. Quick, tell Mengpo to add more water to the soup. Niu Tiou said with a sad face, being able to own the judge's pen at least shows that Li Bai's realm is at the level of the great emperor. The judge's pen is different from other imperial weapons. It is the natal imperial weapon of Emperor Xuanhuan. The owner must be at the level of the great emperor to own it, otherwise, he will be directly annihilated. What's more, the judge's pen was lost in the battle of the emperor's fall, which means that Li Bai is very likely to be a great emperor who participated in the battle of the emperor's fall, and he is not dead yet. On the other side, after feeling the blood connection between him and the judge's pen, Emperor Xuanhuan was stunned. Sir, where did you find it? What do you think? Li Bai looked up at the sky. Seeing Li Bai's eyes, Emperor Xuanhuan understood immediately. No wonder, it was taken away by the heavenly Dao. Emperor Xuanhuan said slowly. At that time, Emperor Xuanhuan spent a lot of effort to find the judge's pen. He searched all the heavens and even some forbidden places, but he didn't expect that it would fall into the hands of the heavenly Dao in the end. Sir, who do you want to check? Qing Feng. No problem, please wait. After Emperor Xuanhuan finished speaking, he took out another natal emperor weapon, the Book of Life and Death, and then wrote the word Qing Feng on it with the judge's pen. After a while, a bright red movable type appeared on the Book of Life and Death. Sir, the person you are looking for is still alive. That's good, by the way, can't your injuries heal? Li Bai had guessed the result long ago, so he didn't have too many emotions. After all, Qing Feng had a life-saving thing given by Li Bai that year. Perhaps only the origin of the great emperor can heal it. The origin of the great emperor. After thinking for a while, Li Bai continued. Wait for me, I will be back soon. Yes, sir. After Li Bai finished speaking, he disappeared directly in the underworld. At this moment, on the other side, the Kangtian immortal realm, the imperial city. As the center of the entire Kangtian immortal realm, the imperial city is vast and boundless, even wider than a lower world. It was jointly established by the 10 great imperial clans in the Kangtian immortal realm. The imperial city can be said to be endlessly prosperous. There are really gods everywhere and saints as many as dogs. What's more terrifying is that the protective formation of the imperial city is composed of the third and fourth killing formations of the ancient times. Unless the great emperor comes, no one can break it. The imperial city is also a paradise for countless traders, because there is no need to worry about killing and robbing here. Of course, if you have the courage, you are not afraid of the pursuit of the 10 great imperial clans. Hey, take a look, calculate the sky, calculate the earth, calculate everything, as long as you dare, there is nothing that this Taoist can't calculate. Only 100,000 immortal crystals, you can't afford to lose, you can't afford to be deceived, you can't buy anything, you poor bastards. At this moment, on a street in the city, an old Taoist in a yellow robe, grinning with yellow teeth, holding a fairy cigarette, kept shouting hard, and he was even angry while shouting. Master, can you really calculate everything? A man in brocade clothes stood in front of the old Taoist in a yellow robe and asked slowly. Hey, little brother, you are a member of a big family at first glance. Ah, how did you know? Of course it was calculated by the old Taoist. After hearing this, the people around couldn't help but sneer. Damn, this old Taoist is really shameless. Anyone with a discerning eye can see that this man is a member of a big family, otherwise who would be followed by several saint bodyguards. Young man, don't be fooled by this old man. He is a charlatan. Look at the goods here. We have everything. Yes, "Sir, come and see our goods." At this moment, some vendors nearby kept persuading him that this was a big fat sheep. "Then can you calculate whether I can become an emperor in the future?" The man ignored the others and talked to the old Taoist in yellow robe. As a member of a big family, he naturally looked down on the goods of these vendors, so he just cheated those outsiders. "This, of course I can calculate, but the price is also very high." The old Taoist in yellow robe said slowly with difficulty. "What price?" "An imperial weapon." You are humming crazy, get out of here." After hearing this, the man cursed and left immediately. He wanted an imperial weapon as a price, but he was crazy about it. Their family didn't even have one. Why doesn't anyone believe it? The old Taoist in yellow robe said to himself. The vendors around him couldn't help laughing when they heard it. Haha, this old man must be crazy. Yes, he thought the imperial weapon was a cabbage. There are all kinds of people these days. You know, those imperial families only have one imperial weapon in the whole family. Haha, a bunch of idiots. At this moment, the old Taoist in yellow robe said in a low voice after hearing it, and then shouted to himself, with a feeling that others laughed at me for being too crazy, and I laughed at others for not seeing through it. Can you count me as a person for me? At this time, Li Bai, dressed in white, appeared in front of the old Taoist in yellow robe and said calmly. Of course, with the appearance of Li Bai, the young women around him couldn't help but get agitated. It was nothing but handsome, handsome to the core, naturally hot. Of course, brother, I can calculate the heavens and the earth, and calculate everything. There is no one I can't calculate. Really? Why don't I believe it? I heard from people around that you are just a liar. Damn, who said that? Isn't this ruining the reputation of the old Taoist? Well, brother, I can calculate one thing for you for free first, but of course there are restrictions. The old Taoist in yellow robe said excitedly. Okay, you can calculate a person for me, named Qingfeng, the ancestor of Qingfeng Holy Land. You just need to tell me whether he is alive or dead. This matter should be within your restrictions. Li Bai said slowly. Of course, wait a minute. Then, the old Taoist in yellow robe took out an old compass, bit his finger, dripped a drop of blood on it, and muttered. Heavenly Dao is chess, and all living beings are pieces. Where is the innate, where is the acquired? To know where it comes from, you will know where it goes. With my blood, the origin of the statue, calculate the world, and show it. In an instant, a red light flashed on the compass, and then a movable type slowly appeared on the compass. Haha, brother, don't worry, the person you are talking about is still alive. The old Taoist in yellow robe grinned, revealing a mouthful of yellow teeth. Yes, you are really capable. Hee, of course. I don't know if you can calculate the person I am talking about next. As long as you dare to say it, I dare to calculate it. The old Taoist in yellow robe patted his chest and said. Okay, as long as you can figure it out, this imperial weapon is yours. After Li Bai finished speaking, he took out a rusty sword. In an instant, the unparalleled imperial power swept the entire imperial city, as if the emperor himself had come. Of course, it was definitely inferior to the arrival of the real emperor. However, fortunately, the imperial city has a defensive barrier to block the leakage of the imperial power, otherwise, I am afraid that the entire Kangtian immortal realm can feel this imperial power. Imperial power, it is imperial power, could it be that the emperor has appeared? No, the emperor's imperial power is not so weak. Quick, check it for me. At this moment, the crowd around Li Bai were stunned, trembling all over, with expressions of horror on their faces, as if they had seen something terrible. They didn't expect that one day they would actually see an imperial weapon. Although they are also people from the immortal realm, it is difficult for them to see an imperial weapon once in their lifetime. Hum, hum, I actually saw an imperial weapon. Woo, Mom, I've made it. Damn, it's so eye-catching. Damn, don't let your imagination run wild, this is the Imperial City. I know, I'm not stupid, how can someone who can then take out an Imperial weapon be simple? I don't know which Imperial clan this is from. Imperial clan, you're so confused. The old Taoist in yellow robe almost drooled after seeing this Imperial weapon. Brother, are you serious? Really? Okay, please tell me. I want you to help me find another person, I need his specific location. Name. The Demon Clan Emperor, Gentian Dragon Emperor.